Hit me with a bruh if y'all can hear me this time. I'm talking my head off and I don't even have the volume up. What's going on? S Smooth in the building, BK in the house. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Bruh, you have no audio. Killing me here, man. Let's see here. We need to log on. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? It seems like y'all can hear me now. What is going on with the network, bro, today? Today it should be an easy lab, guys. Really easy lab. We should knock this out in about maybe 10 minutes. For those that want to follow along, you can go ahead and fire up Packet Tracer, E15, or GNS3. I'm gonna fire up a live switch here. A 3750 switch. Use secure CRT. See the keyword highlights. Yes. Yes, you can use keyword highlights. I have not done that for this PC. But anyways, the book we're going to be using is 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4. You can get a copy of this book from 101labs.net. Learn by doing. It's authored by Paul Browning and co-authored by Farid Safa. You can get a copy of this book again from 101labs.net. Or you can click the link at the bottom of this video here. There's a link in the description there, and you can get a copy of this book from there. It'll take you to a link in Amazon, and you can get it from there. But anyways, shout out to my man Paul B in the building. We got S Smooth from BK. We got Buenos Aires in the house from my man Gonzalo. We got Pepper Jack. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, this should be a really, really quick lab. This should be super quick. So we're in lab number 27 of this book. It's page 116. If you have the older version of this book, there is it's numbered differently, but you should get this one is in the old version of this book as well. The objective of this lab exercise is to configure access ports to transition immediately to the forwarding state instead of going through the typical spanning tree states, i.e. blocking, listening, learning, etc. So, right, remember in the verifying the spanning tree port states video, right, we kept clicking show spanning tree, and we saw the different states that it would go through before it would go to forwarding state, right? First it starts, it's blocking, and then it's listening, then it's learning, and then it goes into forwarding. And sometimes it takes up to about, I don't know, like 30 seconds before it starts forwarding. Well, if you have another access device, like an end device, like a computer, like a desktop computer or a laptop or a phone or whatever connected to that port, it's not going to be sending BPDUs, right? So, you know, we can have it set to forwarding immediately. So we can skip all of those states and just go straight to forwarding. And that's why they call it PortFast, because it sets your port into a forwarding state fast. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for that one. I'm ready to graduate so I can hit the IT field running already. What school you go to, Ayo? Yeah, I didn't really like school. I gotta admit that to you guys. I went to UCF, University of Central Florida, over here in Orlando, Florida, and I majored in management information systems. And I'm just not really a school person, so that's pretty much why. I just knew we had to go to school and get a degree, and then go into the field wherever you feel you are in. And but yeah, what school you go to? Server that's trunking to different VLANs. You could see that with PortFast trunk. Yes, we'll run that command too and verify. Because if you have a switch connected to another switch, you don't want to put. Wait, hold on. A server that's trunking to different VLANs, you could see the fast trunk. You can see that PortFast trunk. Community college, I'm an intern for the public school IT department too. That's what's up. Yeah, I actually went to public community college, Valencia Community College. Then I transferred over to the University of Central Florida. But Pepper Jack, you were saying for a server that is trunking to different VLANs, you could see that with PortFast trunk is what you're saying. Is that correct? Also, Danny, I got a shout out to my man Danny, who's also in the building. Danny, I have to apologize for you because I watched last week's stream on Thursday, the one that we did for user-defined macros. In that video, if y'all remember, the video said, I mean, the objective was to create a user-defined macro or put several ports in a specific VLAN without using the interface range command. Well, Danny put in the group chat, you know, to use the word, the keyword define and an interface range. And I told him, I was like, no, that's not how we do it, man, because the book says not to do it that way. But that was the solution. So Danny, shout out to Danny for giving me that answer. But I totally ignored him. So my bad for that, Danny. That was the way to do it. But remember, the book said not to use interface range. Then they proceeded to let us know we had to use define interface range to get into that, to create user-defined macros. But anyways, let's get into it. I'm just talking y'all ear off right now. So I also copied and pasted it to a Word guide here. Where we at? That was the old version of it as well. So I am logged onto it. I forgot to. There. Oh, no problem. Yeah, man. I was just like, man, this dude gave me the answer the whole time. I'm sitting here going, yeah, you're right, Danny, but no, you're wrong too. So port number 14. All right, so is this feature? Yeah, this feature should be available in a packet tracer if you're using packet tracer. But anyways, it says here, the objectives of this lab is to configure ports to access ports to transition immediately in a forwarding state, right? This is what I just said, right? So basically, we're going to be skipping the blocking, listening, and learning, etc. state. So let's see what happens. I'm going to connect this phone right here. Shout out to one of my coworkers at the school that I work at. He gave me this little phone here. Oh, he actually gave me a couple of these. He's one of the phone guys. And said I could use this to experiment with voice and stuff. So I'm going to be doing that with this. We are going to plug this phone into, let's say, port number, if your servers run VMs in different VLANs. Okay, so sorry, typo. PortFast, you do on access to speed up the port transition time. Yes. Shout out to Danny for that answer. That's correct. You don't do it on uplinks, i.e. trunks to prevent blocks, but servers will be a trunk that need that fast transition. Yes, I appreciate that. Okay, so that's a good tip there, Pepper Jack. So like I was mentioning to you guys, if you use PortFast on a port that is connected to another switch, you don't want to do that because you could potentially create a loop in the network, right? And spanning tree is used to prevent loops from happening, right? So what he is saying is, let's say you have a trunk, let's say you have a server connected to a trunk, right? And typically a trunk, you would have that connected to another switch. You can use the PortFast trunk command to bring up that PortFast, name the word, as they aptly named it too, PortFast, right? To bring it up fast, that is connected to a trunk. Because a trunk, you can have a server that's connected to a trunk. So if you use PortFast trunk, that's one way to bring it up fast. So appreciate that, Pepper Jack. Lab purpose: bypassing spanning tree port states is a fundamental skill. By default, it can take up to 60 seconds for a switch port to transition to the forwarding state, like I said, between forwarding frames. And by the way, yes, this is a CCNA fundamental. And again, we're going to be doing a lot of the easy. So, you know, if you can gather as many people that are new to this field and new to these topics here, have them join along early with us, because later on we're going to be doing some more concept topics right here. So right now, like we're just playing with one switch and dealing with PortFast and simple concept. But you know, later on we're going to get into more complex stuff, and we're going to be dealing with more devices in our topology and stuff like that. So let's go to port number GI01. Right? Let's see what ports we have here. So yeah, FA102. Right? That is in VLAN 1, and I am going to connect the port, a phone to that port. So let's just do show spanning tree FA fast. Can you do it by interface? I thought you could. Interface FA 101. There is no spanning tree for that VLAN. All right, so I'm going to, that's because there's no device that's plugged up to it, even though it's in VLAN 1, right? So we can also verify that with show VLAN brief. And before I even get into that, let's do this. Let's see what they asked us to do here. So in most cases, this is acceptable. However, on a network with DHCP clients, right? DHCP is a service that we use to hand out IP addresses to our devices on the network. For example, that need IP addressing from a DHCP server. This duration may cause these clients to think that the DHCP is unavailable. 1. Configure a host name of your liking of your switch, which should have at least 12 ports. We do. I have switch 1. It's already listed as switch 1, and we have 24 ports, right? Task 2, configure VLAN 10, name sales on the switch. I think we have already done that as well from the other video, right? VLAN 10, right there, sales. If y'all don't know how to do that, oh well. No, you just go to global config mode, right? VLAN 10, that'll create the VLAN, and you type in name and then sales, and that'll name the VLAN. But we've already done that, so we don't have to worry about that, right? Task number 3. See, there's only 4 tasks for this, and we should be done already, right? Configure ports FA01, which in my case will be 101, and FA102. Using the interface range command. Shout out to Danny for that one. Today we're going to be able to use interface range. But you know what? Let's go ahead and use define interface range in the name of Danny. So that spanning tree protocol transition these interfaces into a forwarding state immediately. These interfaces should also be configured as access ports in VLAN 10. So basically, we want to put in FA 101 and 102 in VLAN 10 using interface range command. But let's do it with a user-defined macro. Does anybody remember how to do that? Anybody? So we go to global config mode, and we say define, right? Interface range, and we're gonna name this macro. Let's call it, I don't know, the bruh macro. BRU_macro 1. And then after that, we're gonna say what ports are gonna be in this macro. FA 101 through 2. After that, what do they want? Comma. We could do other. Oh, that's the other thing too. That's when I realized, okay, this feature is pretty useful. So remember the interface range command, you could do a block of ranges, right? I don't know if you could do this with the regular interface range or not, but you can do ports 1 through 2, and then after that we can do, let's say, I don't know, 10 through 15, and then skip a bunch of ports, and then do like 20 through 22, and put them all in this macro. I don't know if you could do that with interface range. I don't know. We can see. But let's add a couple ports to it too. Let's say comma. And did we say comma right there? Okay, so we got a comma there. And let's say FA 10, I don't know, 10. I sound like a damn cat over here. 15. Okay, so the bruh macro is going to apply these changes to FA 101 through 2 and FA 1010 through 15. Does anybody know if the regular kisses the Miss Network bro over there? Does anybody know if the regular interface range command can you do a block of ranges like this as well? Hit me in the chat if you know the answer to that. But no, that's not a pop quiz. I genuinely don't know, or genuinely don't know. So now to apply this, we had to do interface range, right? And then we say macro. Remember that? Remember that from last week? So we say macro, and then from here we type the name of the macro, which in this case was bruh_macro. For anybody that's new to this or didn't watch last week's lab, you can use interface range command to apply one command to a whole bunch of ports, right? Well, user defined macros, you can do the same thing and do like a block of ranges and then name them, right? Because let's say we had room 15 had ports 10 through 15. And we know that every time we need to make changes to room 15, because people are always in and out of that room, or they're moving computers in that room all the time, we call it the room 15 macro. Does that make any sense? I thought about this over the weekend. I was like, that's when this can become useful. And this is why I love labbing, because I never knew about the user-defined macros. I mean, I heard about them, but I didn't understand how important or how useful they can be. So bruh macro, Fat Finger Squad almost let me put the S there. Bruh macro 1, and then we just type in that. Now we're in interface range command for ports 1 through 2 and 1 through 15. And they said, what do they want us to do with it? They wanted us to put those ports in VLAN 10. So now we could just do switch port mode access to make them access ports, and then say switch port access VLAN 10. Right now, if we do a show VLAN brief, and we can see we got ports 1 through 2 and 10 through 15 in the sales VLAN. Does that make any sense, y'all? So now I see how helpful the interface, the user-defined macros is. How many daughter's birthday? Hope she enjoyed. Yeah, Paul, she enjoyed it, man. Shout out to you, Paul. Appreciate that. So yeah, last week was my daughter's birthday. She, I decorated her room, and I surprised her, picked her up from school, came home, put her in some blindfolds, and she got to the door. I said, okay, take off your blindfold. She walked in, was just like, wow. And I decorated the whole room. She was just like surprised. The whole weekend, she did not want to leave. She did not want to leave the house, y'all. Like, she was like, can you bring me, I cooked dinner, and she was like, can you bring it to my room? She was just like, she didn't want to leave the rooms, y'all. Appreciate that, Paul. Yeah, she just loves her bedroom. She didn't, matter of fact, her mom wanted her to come home like Sunday, and she just was like, I don't feel like leaving this room. So I brought her to school Monday. So appreciate that. But yeah, she loves her room. So no S in your macro name. Appreciate that, S Smooth, for catching that too, because I almost Fat Finger Squad that, right? So yeah, I notice how this the user-defined macro, I see where it can be helpful there. I don't know if you can do this, block of ranges with interface range. I don't know. Maybe you can. Let's see. Let's exit out of this, and let's just say, let's deal with ports, I don't know, 20, let's do 17 through 20, and then 21 through 22, something like that. So interface range, and say FA101, no, let's say 17 through 20, and then comma. Can you do that? Yes, you can. So you can still do a block of ranges with the regular interface range command too. So I don't see how it, well, I guess you can. Like I said, it's like naming your interface range command, if that makes any sense. So that's what it is. I guess it's like naming your interface range modes there. So now if we wanted to do like, I don't know, 101 through, I don't know, 22 through 23. Now, no, we can't. Can you do that? You can't do that. Oh, that's because I got to put the FA and then that. So now I'm an interface range command for those groups. Does that make sense, y'all? It's just that the user-defined macros, you're actually creating a name for these ranges. So, task 4, we're almost here, y'all. We're almost done, y'all. You're right about the macro command. Never knew it existed, looked up, and it's very useful. Yeah, man. I mean, this is why I love labbing with you guys, man. New features for me, and I mean, yeah, I got my CCNA, but I didn't know about the user-defined macro, so there you go. These interfaces should, okay, so we put them in VLAN 10, and let's go ahead. It says verify your configuration with appropriate show commands. So we did the show VLAN brief that let us know those ports are in that range. Secure CRT also has a button where you can pre-type commands to enter. Just found that out today. Yeah, I think that's like down here, right? Danny, right? Not Danny. Pepperjack, you put the commands down here at the bottom. I think that's what you're talking about. Do you use also the alias command? I heard about the alias command too. No, I do not use it very often. Where you pretty much name your I done forgot what that is, but I know you can pretty much name a command or name a function, right? It's like a But yeah, I heard about the alias command too, but no, I don't use it, Danny. So yeah, we verify with show VLAN brief. How do we verify whether where is PortFast available? PortFast configured. We could do like obviously show run and then the interface to check it out, right? So in this case, FA 101, right? And oh, we didn't even put PortFast, did we? No, we didn't. We put him in VLAN 10, but we didn't put him in PortFast mode. So my bad about that. Let's go back to global config mode and say interface range macro bruh underscore macro 1. Is that what it was? All caps, macro 1. And then we say switch port fast. No, spanning tree. And then port fast, right? Let's before I even type that out, right? Let's say spanning tree that's like this, and there's the feature we're looking for, port fast, which enables an interface to move directly to forwarding on link up. So that's the command I was looking for. And notice here, when you put in a port in PortFast, you get this little warning here. It says PortFast should only enable on ports connected to a single host. Connecting hubs, concentrator switches, blah, 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 etc. to this interface when PortFast is enabled can cause temporary bridging loops, which is what I mentioned before. You don't want to connect it to another switch that can also do forwarding or generate BPDUs. It can temporarily cause bridging loops, and that's why they put that little warning there. Use with caution. In this case, I'm going to be connecting a phone to one of those ports, so we ain't got to worry about that, right? PortFast will be configured in 2 interfaces due to the interface range command, but will only have effect when the interfaces are in the non-trunking mode. Now, I remember, didn't we put this macro in more ports, right? Then we put that in like, yeah, we put it on all these other guys right here, 10 through 15 as well. So it should be like 7 ports, right? Isn't that correct? Let's show run interface FA 10. We said 2 has it. 3 does not, obviously. And then we said 10 through 15. So we said 10. Yeah. So I don't understand. Does anybody know why it says it only, so like if we do 11, that's in PortFast. 12, obviously. And then we went to the last one was 15. That had it. And then the 16 definitely should not be even configured. And yeah, so that should have been 7 ports that this was applied to. So this told us only PortFast will be configured only to 2 due to interface range command. So I don't know, maybe because we tricked it with a macro. Who knows? I don't know. The only other thing I would recommend enabling BPDU guard as well on any PortFast. So if your servers are trunks accidentally get moved to switches, they shut down. Yes, that is correct. And we do this at my job as well. BPDU guard, in case you guys don't know, is if you have ports connected to, if let's say you put BPDU guard on a port, right? It'll shut down the port from anything that can possibly generate a BPDU. So it just shuts down the port. And for you to bring it back up, you got to bounce it. Basically, shut it down and then bring it right back up, and then it'll start forwarding again. But BPDU guard blocks it from, just in case any BPDUs come on that port, it shuts it down. So, because you don't want to cause any bridging loops. And that's the feature there. So, yeah, appreciate that tip there, Pepperjack. So, we put PortFast on those ports. I talk too much, don't I? Let's verify. How can we verify what ports PortFast is enabled on, other than just the show run interface, which we should disable show run. This is what we should do. That helps you become a better troubleshooter in case you guys, you don't want to challenge yourself. Verifying configurations and functions without the show run command. So how can we verify that? Is it show spanning tree and then PortFast or something like that? Let's see. Block ports, bridge, uplink fast. No, that's a different feature. That's not the same thing as PortFast. Spanning tree route. Anybody know? Any other? Yes, switch that sends BPDU. Yes. Reese Fields in the building. What's going on, Reese? It would ignore BPDU frames. Will it ignore BPDU frames? See, that's a trick question. That's a tricky one there. I believe it will. It'll just shut down the port when a device that could, because a device could potentially send BPDUs to it. Pepperjack, and the server you're referring to would be an EXI host, right? It could be any. Show spanning tree sum. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Summary. There we go. And that's how we can tell what ports has PortFast. Which another way we could do it too is we can have PortFast to be enabled on every switch by just doing spanning tree PortFast default. That will turn on PortFast for every port on this switch, right? And then we can turn off the ones one by one if we really wanted to. So let's say we go to global config mode and just do spanning tree PortFast, and then we type in the word default. That's going to enable PortFast by default on all access ports, right? And then we can just turn off the ones one by one. So glad that Pepperjack showed us that. What else we needed to see here? I believe that's all they wanted us to do here, right? Oh, we could do interface. We could check the interface detail spanning tree command. So that's one I've completely forgot about. So we do. So remember, we put PortFast enabled on ports 1 through 2 and 10 through 15, right? So let's check port 1, right? We'll go to show span tree interface FA 101, and then we type in the word detail. No span tree info available. So let's do this. No spanning tree. Okay, so I believe it has to be up for us to see the spanning tree instance. Let's go ahead and put in a phone into port number 1. Drums, please. Pop quiz. What's that from? What song is that from, y'all? All right, so we got the phone coming up. We got VLAN 10 coming up. Interface VLAN 10. I guess I got an interface VLAN 10 as well. Power granted. That's what it is. I think I also have power inline debugging turned on. Power inline debugging turned on. FA 101 changed to down. Now interface VLAN 1 is up. That was the wrong port. I shouldn't have used that port. Let's do this. So we'll run that up again. Now it's down. It's bouncing. See, that's why I shouldn't have used this port. Show span tree 101 detail is what I was looking for right there. So now we can see that port is designated forwarding. There's the path cost. And y'all remember, I forgot who it was that told us to check the path cost, right? So gigabit Ethernet ports, the path cost is 4. Fast Ethernet ports, the path cost is 19. And then Ethernet, I believe the path cost is, that's y'all other pop quiz. What is the path cost for a Ethernet port? Not fast Ethernet, not gigabit Ethernet, just Ethernet, 10 megabits per second. We also see that number of, it should have been telling us PortFast was turned on. I thought the detail would have told us that. Yeah, it would have been, yeah, there it is right there. The port is in the PortFast mode. So that's how we know it's turned on. So show spanning tree interface, blah, 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 and then detail. Detail keyword. And that lets us know that the PortFast mode is enabled without using show run interface, blah, blah, blah. Bruh, you're going to do the Cisco router hosting VoIP. No, those commands are sweet. With network automation, people can make their own commands, all this data. Love both approaches. Appreciate that, Catharsis. Yeah, there's different ways to do it. User-defined macros. And maybe as I get a little bit more advanced and stuff like that, again, we're just doing basic CCNA stuff, man. PortFast is a basic CCNA fundamental. Like I said, we're just doing all the basics right now. This is stuff like most of this stuff I know. Last week I did get stumped with the user-defined macros because I did not know about that feature. So we're all learning here. But as we progress through this book right here, which if you haven't gotten you a copy yet, you can go to 101labs.net to get you a copy. The name of the book is 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4, Learn by Doing, authored by Paul Browning and Farai Tafa. Experts agree that we retain only 10% of what we read, but only 90% of what we do. So, like I said, you can read about driving all day long. You can read the theory about driving all day long. Take all these written tests, but you're not going to learn how to drive until you get behind the wheel. And that's the reason why I love this book here. So, if you have any last minute questions or any last minute concerns or anything like that, anybody has any shout outs or whatever, let me know what it is. We do this Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that was the last task there, right? They just wanted us to run a couple show commands, and that was pretty much it. We did the show spanning tree detail, and y'all know why that we didn't have an where was that? Where I did that? Where I tried to see the detail, right? Y'all see why there was no spanning tree info available, right? Because that port was not up. There was nothing. That port was not up. Yes, it was enabled, but we didn't have a spanning tree instance until we plugged up the phone to it. Which here it is, by the way. There is no phone port. It's not registered right now because I don't have call manager or anything, so it's not registering to anything. So it is up though. Anybody else want me to run any other commands? We got Maddox 12 showing up last minute. We wrapping up this lab here, unless you've been creeping in the background while we got this lab going here. But that's pretty much it, y'all. Are you going to show the new packet tracer? I haven't been really. I've been straying away from packet tracer. I've been telling everybody that want to follow along to use packet tracer. I try not to use it. I like using my live hardware because it's been sitting here collecting dust. So I said, let me fire that up. Maybe I'll probably play with it and see what new features are available. Do you know what new features are on it? People say that Cisco changed their lives. Did it change yours? Danny, I wouldn't necessarily say it changed my life, but it definitely helped my career for sure. The first network job I got per se was I worked in a network operations center. At the time, I had my CCNA, and that is like the entry level. Like back in the day, CCNA used to be split up in 2 exams, right? You can take ICND 1, ICND 2, and you get issued your CCNA certificate, right? But at that time, I had passed ICND 1, and then I got a network job, right? And it was just like a network monitoring job. I didn't really get my first hands-on like networking role until after I got my CCNA. So I guess in a sense it did change my life. Yeah, I could say so. Maybe I didn't want to admit it, but I did get my first networking job before I got my CCNA. But my real like hands-on, like actually racking equipment and configuring them and stuff like that, I didn't get until after I got my CCNA. So I guess technically it did change my life. So yeah, appreciate everything you do. Appreciate that as well. Just got off work. Okay, well we'll give you the excuse there. Hardwares, what's up? Who am I? Just realizing what your moniker is. Yeah, I love using hardware, man. One day I'm gonna do a video and show you guys my rack of equipment. I got what is this? 28U rack in my bedroom. Yes, I do. That is my life. So I just love this technology, man. Florida wins. Yes, they do. Florida did. Tampa Bay won yesterday. I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but you know, that's what's up. Rack simulator. Yep, appreciate that. Yep, that's true. Hardware 1, virtual 2, packet tracer 3. I agree, Mario. I'm gonna have to agree with you there, man. I mean, I know, yes, everybody's gonna be preaching EVE and GNS3 and stuff like that, but I love my hardware, so it is what it is. Is the salary good? Yes, I would say it is good. But again, my first I got my CCNA, which was the it was halfway to getting a CCNA, and then I got a knock job. But that job was an pretty average salary, very average salary. I didn't really start making like real money until I became a network analyst and a network engineer, and that's when I was getting paid a little bit more than when I was at the time. We got Brian Connor representing Mumbai, India in the building. You asking the right questions. Yep, for sure. You have a 12U. Who am I? You got a 12U, just picked it up. That's what's up, man. Yeah, I got a 28U rack in my bedroom. People think I'm crazy, but, you know, like I said, I'm passionate about this stuff. I try to live, eat, and sleep this stuff. So, Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't watch more sports either, and experts spend their time better. That's true. Although I do love basketball. Basketball is my real passion. I love playing basketball. I don't really watch it very often, but you know, I do train a lot in basketball. I do like ball handling drills and stuff in my garage and stuff like that. Love playing with my friends. Love playing full court pickup and stuff like that. So basketball is like probably my #1 passion above Cisco, believe it or not. But love, you know, computer networking and stuff like that. So, but yeah, sports in general, I don't really watch it, but I do love playing basketball. So, not bad to have fun. Exactly. That 28U is your yes, it is. It is. When it gets cold in here, just turn these switches on, right? But I don't do that. I don't really do that. But anyways, that is it for tonight. Hope you guys like this video. Y'all hit that like button. Tune in Monday through Thursday. I was late today, but I'm gonna make sure I put my timer to make sure that I get on. I'm like, how could I forget y'all, man? For now, like, comment, subscribe to the network.